Hello and welcome to Gel and Tell, where I do my nails and share celebrity gossip. Today I'm doing jelly nail tips for the first time ever, and I'm using liquids from Bella Vina that I got with my Double Dip October Mystery Surprise box. And I purchased these tips or extensions, these gel extensions from Amazon. I'd never heard of the brand before, but I wanted to try a cheaper version before I invest in a more expensive version. So now I'm showing you the damage I did to my nails in less than a week. This was a hybrid gel polish and dip powder set, and they split and chipped, and there were these bubbles from when I cured them. They just didn't look great after a few days. So now I'm going to use these Una Gela, I don't know if that's how you say it, nail tips. I specifically purchased ones that had already that etching inside because I don't have an e-file yet to scrape out that inside. So that's another reason I went with these cheap Amazon jelly tips. So now I'm sizing them to see which ones fit on which finger. I didn't do a great job of staying in frame for this, but I still thought it was interesting to show. This is the customization part where you file down some of the edges so that they fit better on your cuticle. I have found that the nail that fits on the left thumb will fit on the right thumb and the left index on the right, etc., etc. My cuticle area seems to be the same size on both sides. I don't know if that's the case for everyone, but it seems to be for me. I continued picking my sizes off camera, and now it's time to put the extensions on my natural nails. So I'm going to show you this UV lamp that I use that's for flash curing. I put a link down below that you can find. I found it on Amazon. It works really well and it clips onto your desk, and it came with some different bands you can put around to change the color. So I'm going to use some rubbing alcohol to wipe down my nails and for prep. I'm also using a lint-free wipe for this. I didn't put a link down below for these wipes because I'm trying to use them up. They leave pink coloring on my nails, so I'm not going to recommend these wipes for you. I found them on Amazon. I'm going to go with something else, and maybe you have a recommendation for me you could leave below on which nail wipes that are lint-free to use. So these are the liquids that came in my mystery surprise box last month from Bella Vina or Double Dip, and that they are the reason why I'm doing jelly nail extensions. They had sent these longer gel tips, but they were too long for me, and I wanted to start with something that was closer to the length that I wanted to learn how to shape them from the shape that I already liked, so I could learn, I guess, quicker on the shorter nails before moving on to the longer ones and then cutting them down and shaping them from there. Hopefully that makes sense. So first you need to put a layer of base or glue down and cure it. This is gel, so everything has to be cured. So I'll cure that for a minute, and then I had forgotten to put my little glove on to protect my hand from UV rays. I'll put that in the link down below as well. This protects your hand from overexposure to UV rays. So next you customize a little more, make sure everything is going to fit. I kind of do this throughout, putting each nail on. I don't bore you with doing every single one, but the thumb was a little tricky, and this is my first time putting them on, so I think I took the longest on my thumb, my left thumb, so we'll watch this process together of taking a while to do this. So I am a nail picker, and I pick at my cuticles especially, so the nail on my thumbs and the cuticles around my thumbs are what gets picked the most, and it brings in the width of my nail because I pick at the skin underneath. I don't know how else to explain it, so that's why I think the thumb took so long, because I had to really customize it to the shape of my nail and the width of it. So you want to put an even coating on the area that's already etched, and I've learned that you're supposed to scrape your brush onto the edge of your gel extension and then slowly press down on your finger on your thumb. But something that I didn't watch in all the tutorials I watched is how are you supposed to hold it on there and put it under the lamp. So I ended up moving positions, holding it down with my thumb and then picking it up and moving it, and then you'll see here that it's just not gonna stick at all. So I decided to start over and wipe it off and try again. This was my first time, so I was trying not to get frustrated. Of course, it's not going to go perfectly the first time, right? So I wipe it off with some acetone, and my thumbs did stay on just fine. So I don't know if this is a good way to fix an issue with gel extensions, but it worked and they stayed on. So now I'm trying again. Again, you want to do a thin coating of your gel glue or gel base, and then you want to scrape that excess off. If you don't do that, then it's not going to be enough liquid to hold your nail in place, and then the free edge of your nail underneath, if you decide to keep your nails a little longer like I did, won't be glued down, and then you get stuff under your nail, and then that leads to lifting, and it looks bad, and then you get bacteria under there. It's just gross. So I messed it up again, so I'm going to try again and remove the excess glue with my lint-free wipe and acetone. And third time's a charm, because this time it works. So third time, thin coating, wipe your brush on the nail, slowly press it on, and I've learned by this third time that once you press it down, you really can't lift your fingers up until it's held on there. So maybe 10 to 15 seconds, just like that. Even though your finger might be in the way, it's best. So, and then I did put a little too much gel glue on this one, so I had to pick at it and get it to come off, which was very satisfying. But it was also annoying. But that's the only one I think I had to do that with this time. For my first time, it's not bad. So now I'm just making sure each time that they still fit my finger and I don't need to do any further customization. I didn't remember which number I was supposed to do on my index finger, so that's why you're seeing me try a couple different sizes. So I am customizing this edge especially. My cuticle likes to come in almost like vertically. So there's a lot of customization there. So now I'm doing a thin coating and wiping. I didn't wipe enough here, but it's all a learning process. So you don't want to wipe too much on there, and then it seeps out and squeezes out the sides and the top. But you want it to be more than your natural nail underneath, so that it covers. See how? And I'm telling myself I think I put too much, but actually it was the correct amount. So you should be able to see it a little above your nail, your natural nail, in my opinion. So now I'm going to cure the whole set that I flash cured for a minute, and now I've got all of my extensions on. I did end up cutting these down. They were just too long, and I ended up cutting them down too much, I think. But then the next video that I'll post, and the pair that I'm wearing currently, is too long. So one of these days I'll find a happy medium of size. I went ahead and filed and buffed off camera. I had a recording of it, but it was just getting too long. If you guys like seeing that, let me know in the comments below. I also went ahead and put the extensions for my right hand on, and now I'm curing for a minute. I'm wiping off the excess dust and powder from the top of my nails these are the liquids I'm using and the dip powders that I'm going to be using. The dip powder, or the liquids, are from Double Dip. They are dip powder liquids that I purchased. There's a link below. And the colors that I use are Kiara Sky Pure White is the white. Kiara Sky Taupeless is the kind of taupe colored one. And then there's a navy blue, and that's from JNIbyJude. And it's called I Have the, in parentheses, Navy Blues. So those are the colors that I use. I really like this navy blue. It's really new. It's the first time I've used it, and I'm very impressed with it. I don't know how I didn't have a navy blue color before, because blue is my favorite color in the whole world. I've actually been searching for the perfect navy blue for a couple years now, and I kept purchasing different blues that I thought were going to be navy blue, and they're not. Instead, I got ones that are too light or too dark or too sparkly or too like turquoise or bluish greenish or whatever. So now we're going to move on. I did build an apex for my nails with clear dip base from Kiara Sky, or dip powder, sorry, before moving on to the color. But again, this video is pretty long, so I cut that part out. If you want a video showing how I build an apex on gel extensions, let me know in the comments below and I will record one. Look how beautiful and pigmented this navy blue is. I don't mind staining on my skin. I can usually wash it off pretty well at the end after I have put top coat on and let it dry, and then it comes off my nails or my skin pretty nicely. So I'm using a picking tool. I just found a spot that must have dried or been cured that was sticking in the cuticle. So I'm doing navy blue on my thumb and my pinky. And then on my ring finger, on the accent finger, I'm doing color blocking with masking tape. So it's only the second or third time I've done color blocking with masking tape, or just color blocking in general. And I'm not quite good at it enough to where I want to teach you how to do it. I'm kind of more experimenting at this point, so you won't learn necessarily how to do it, but you can see how my process has worked. And for the index finger, let me see if I can guess right. I think I did taupeless on my index finger. We'll see if I'm right. Haha, I was right. So taupeless on the index finger, and then I'm going to do white on my middle finger, pure white from Kiara Sky. I got a 20-ounce jar back, I don't know, a long time ago, maybe a year and a half ago. That's not that long ago, but long enough. And because I thought I would use white all the time, but I really don't use white as much as I thought I would. So now I just have this giant 20-ounce jar of white that I'm sure I will use in the future. It's not like it goes bad, but yeah. And it's hard to tell the difference between the clear Kiara Sky 20-ounce dip powder, the natural Kiara Sky 20-ounce dip powder, and the pure white Kiara Sky 20-ounce dip powder. They look the same, so I have to read them every time, and sometimes I do get them mixed up. Like, I've used natural or clear on top of white on accident before, because you want to use natural or clear to build your apex. Anyways, here's the masking tape I used. I'm going to do 3 little triangles, essentially, for my color blocking. I'm starting with the darkest color. Don't know if that was a smart decision. If you have tips on how to color block and what color to start with, let me know below. I just know that I think the only reason I picked starting with blue, I really don't know why. But you want to be able to peel off your masking tape, that first layer of masking tape, once you have your first layer second layer. Had the same thought process trying to annotate it for you guys. Yeah, after the second layer, you peel it off so that it doesn't harden too quickly. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Please let me know below. Maybe I was supposed to take it off. I watched a tutorial on how to color block with tape before this, but I have ADHD, and what comes with that is short-term memory issues. So I probably forgot at this point and was listening to Beyond the Blinds podcast or something. If you haven't heard me talk about Beyond the Blinds before, go back and watch my videos previously. I probably drop them every time I've done a video, and I will try to put a link below in the description. You should listen to their podcast. They read blind items, and they usually pick a specific celebrity to cover, unlike mine, where I just read whatever has currently happened. Anyways, check out Beyond the Blinds. Shameless plug for my favorite podcast that I'm also a Patreon member for. The only podcast that I'm a Patreon member for, and I love me some podcasts. So I noticed once I took the tape off that there was a little bit of color that came through on the bottom. So I'm going to, I'm going to activate it, I think, but that's blue. Yeah, the yellow. Haha. I'm going to activate it so that it dries. Hardens is what I meant to say. And then I will be able to file it to the shape that I want it to be, to that crisp line into the next color. I wasn't 100% successful. It's not the most perfect crisp line. I will keep getting better. But I think it turned out pretty nicely. Next, I'm moving on to a second layer of solid dip powder colors, meaning all of the nails except for the color block nail. I'm going to let that dry and come back to it. I may have asked this in a video before, but are there any of you that find that you obsessively use your brush on your fingernails before pouring the dip powder? I'm wondering if I'm letting it dry too long. I never realized how many times I used the brush on my fingernails before putting dip powder on, before watching videos. I had no idea. Maybe it's normal. It doesn't seem to be, though, from videos that I've watched. Here's a spot that looks like it was a little thin. I've watched other videos since on YouTube that say you don't have to fill in as you go. If you miss a little spot, the second layer should cover it. So I wish I'd done that, because there did end up being a little bit of a lump, and I'm the kind of person that rubs my finger pads over my nails all week long. Like, that smooth surface kind of calms me down. And it's like a worry stone is how I kind of visualize it. So if there's a bump, it really bothers me, and it gives me a lot of anxiety. I also have anxiety, so lots of things give me anxiety, but one thing that helps calm me down is playing with my nails, I guess, right, wrong, or indifferent. So that little bump really did bother me. I forgot about it till now. So I'm doing a second layer of navy blue. I have the navy blues from JNIbyJude on my pinky, and then we're going to move on to the color blocking. I cut out the second layer of white and taupeless, but just trust that I did it. I think I did a pretty good job for the taupeless part. When there are little shiny spots or little wet spots, you want to keep putting dip powder on until it soaks up all of that powder and there's no wet spots. Now I'm moving on to the second coat for my other nails that aren't the color block nail, the accent nail. I love taupeless. I've used it for so many nail sets now, and this was a newer powder for me. I love it. I don't know how I didn't have that neutral color in my collection before, but I didn't. And I just adore it. I saw this design, this color blocking on Pinterest in different colors, and I did it for a set, I don't know, months ago. Didn't obviously record it because I didn't have my YouTube channel yet, but it's so fun to do this color blocking, and it looks so nice and clean afterwards. Well, for the most part. It's a little jaggedy. of an edge. But overall, it looks pretty clean. I know there are ways to do color blocking with dip powder and not use tape, and I would love to try that next. So second layer for the pure white dip powder from Kiera Sky. I still see some shiny spots, so I'm pouring on more white. And I'm moving on to the white part of the color block. I wish that I had done a different color on my middle finger. It was too much white next to white. I wish I had done the index finger white and my middle finger taupe. But they look pretty good overall. This next part of the video is me applying activator to harden the nails, and then I will be applying top coat. I also buff and file off camera and do my right hand off camera as well. You'll never guess what I'm gonna do with the remaining amount of time. Yep, that's right. I'm gonna read some blind items. All blind items read on Gel Intel are alleged. And this time it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be Housewife, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills themed, and I did pull a few blind items from another blog that's not Crazy Days and Nights, but I also pulled some from Crazy Days and Nights, of course. The blog that I'm taking these blinds from are from a website called Bravo and Cocktails. They also have a podcast called Cocktails and Bravo. I will include the website down below, and they have advertisements for their podcast as well. This website and podcast focus on Bravo's celebrities, and those are reality stars. They receive tips from fans and sometimes housewives, I think, theoretically, and producers and assistants and people like that. That's what I think, and these are all alleged. So for the first one, this is from November 1st, and it's called Foreclosed. The bid is in. $257,000 is what the former housewife's house was auctioned for today. I think this is about Kim Zolciak-Biermann, allegedly. A lot of tabloids have been running with this story. You might have seen it in the news. And Kim Zolciak-Biermann posted a video of herself in her home saying that she'd be there for holidays and for like a long time to come. But she really didn't deny the foreclosure and didn't say anything about whether she owns her house or she's renting it or what's going on. So the second one is also about Kim. It's also from November 1st, and it says, so we all saw the public records, but what isn't as obvious is that this is apparently something people do. This is a theory. I guess we'll see if this is how it plays out. And I know that the host is two females, so they posted a text message between, I believe it's the main host and a friend that's a real estate agent, and it says it means someone bought her debt of $300,000 for $257,000, but now they have to foreclose on the rights of redemption. Kim will redeem, and she won't lose the house because she's borrowing against the equity in the house from a friend. So she won't be homeless, and it's not as much money. So apparently Kim is having some problems, and she's had a friend help out. And the third one from November 8th is also about Kim, and it's called About the Foreclosure. Yeah, still in their name, but auction icon. So Def went to auction, which we knew because your people are the best. And there's a picture of the house for auction on an auction website. So, eek! November 8th. This is another one not about Kim. And it says, pay attention to the headlines. News will be coming out about the partner of a housewife. It will help viewers understand her desire to protect her assets. Well, I didn't know who the heck that would be about, but I did remember hearing about Juan Dixon in the news lately, Robin Dixon's husband, Robin Dixon from Real Housewives of Potomac, and reading the comments, I figured out it's probably about Robin Dixon and Juan Dixon. And he is wrapped up in a sexual assault lawsuit, but not for committing a sexual assault, but for not reporting a college coach that he knew was sexually assaulting a student. So he is getting in trouble for not speaking up. So that could be why Robin's protecting her assets, because perhaps they are headed towards another separation. We're switching over to Crazy Days and Nights blog that entertainment lawyer writes. We call him NT. So this comes from November 9th, and it's blind item number 13. The housewife's offspring, who has her own show, is being cheated on by her significant other. So I immediately thought Farrah, which is Kyle Richards' daughter. I don't know her current last name. And that's what the comments are speculating. She is on a reality show, a real estate show on Netflix, but that doesn't really fit because it's not her own show. Other comments are saying that maybe the housewife is Kathy Hilton and her daughter Paris Hilton, who does have several shows that are real reality shows, and that her new husband Carter Room could be cheating. Or I think it might be Kim Zolciak, or maybe I just have her on my brain because I read so many of hers. Maybe it's her kids, because they're starting a reality show, but it's in LA. I don't know if that matters. All right, and the last blind item just came in this afternoon when I'm recording. It's blind item number 6, and it's from today, which is November 11th. I told you from the beginning that the second season OG would join the new cast if the realtor on the same network had his way. He didn't want her on his show. The socialite wants back on the show badly, but needs a boyfriend or some other storyline. And according to the comments, this is allegedly Scary Island's own Kelly Bensimon. So let me know what you think of the blind items and my nails below. I had a lot of fun doing these, and the extensions stayed on perfectly for a whole week. Like, subscribe, and leave me a comment.